So thank you, Sharon and Russell, for asking me about a year ago. It sort of came faster than I remember. It sort of a year goes by quickly. But at the time, he asked me to come and talk a little bit about the luxury market. And probably the reason for that is Condé Nast Traveler does the largest survey to the affluent market in the US of travel. It's called What Matters Now. And we literally just got our results back for 2015, so I'll share some of those results with you today.
And there's a copy of the magazine, the January edition, in your bag.
There is a copy, but please feel free to subscribe if you'd like to. The copy disintegrates in a day. So what's happening? Okay, the world, as you guys probably know it, is getting much, much smaller. Raise your hand, one of those things up there, if 40% growth in long-haul travel. I'm not sure what long-haul travel is anymore. For our jobs and our lives, we will fly to Asia for 2 days and back by Thursday to be in an office meeting by Friday. What exactly is long-haul anymore? I think the consumer's perception has changed dramatically. If it's worth it and they have a desire, they will get on a plane and travel anywhere, really. The other part I thought was interesting is what's affluent? I would love, I'm so happy, I'm hoping I'm getting a ride back on a private jet. I'm going to be really nice and see if I can hitch a ride back. But the number of affluent Americans that are traveling abroad has grown, and the expectation will be that it will only increase. It's an increase of 9 million more self-defined, what we define as affluent Americans, what's household incomes of $250,000 or plus. And so that market in the US is a growing market. So speaking to the affluent customer is a good place to be in the travel marketplace. So what's driving these trends? Let's take a look. Okay, passionate travelers. I always want to make the distinction in the marketplace. There are two types of travelers. There is someone who plans a trip once a year or twice a year, and those are valuable for many of you, I'm sure. And then there are those who are passionate travelers, people who are always in the cycle of traveling. They're always in the cycle of planning a trip, taking a trip, bragging about the trip. Oh, I just got back from BVI. Oh, where'd you stay? Oh, right? And then planning the next trip. So there are two different types of people, and what's driving those passionate travelers, really those individuals who are traveling all the time, is a desire for exploration, a desire to engage in something they've never done or seen before. And that's interesting, I think, as you sort of shape your strategies. The number one reason why they get on a plane is because they wanted to go somewhere. Right? We have a very robust website where we have about 4 million people a month coming to our site, and 69% of those people don't know where they want to go when they come to our site. They know they want to go somewhere, they just don't know exactly whether it may be beach or ski or whatever, family vacation, whatever it may be. So they're undecided, and that messaging is really important to them. Next. Okay, authenticity. You've probably heard this term, probably today, more than you could shake a stick at because it's used all the time. Authenticity and sense of place are two things I want to banish from the travel industry, using that language because it's used over and over again. What is authenticity for this consumer? What does it really mean? What it means for them is cool versus fancy and real. And our research has told us that for this traveler, this affluent traveler in the US, a fish taco truck on the side of the road, that's the best fish taco they've ever tried, is of equal value to a 5-star restaurant, right? And that is earth-shattering because the generation that came before them, that was in the late 40s, thought fancy was better, right? Expensive had to feel a certain way. It meant white linen tables. It meant a lot of things that I'm sure all of you know. Today, this consumer is less interested in that and more interested in what's real, right? And that is driving it. In fact, 85% of them say cultural experiences engaging with the authentic community is one of the number one primary reasons why they take a trip. I'm sorry? Yes. And so why is that? I just asked you this. What's cool versus fancy, just so you know. So everyone wants to be cool. I know everyone here is cool, but everyone wants to be cool. And if you don't believe me, think it when you look in the mirror, right? Anyone do this. Have you ever looked in the mirror and said, this is what they're wearing? Well, who's the they? The they could be like a 28-year-old kid that you saw on Us Weekly or whatever it may be, right? But everyone looks in the mirror and thinks they want to be where something cool is happening. And cool doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be real. Next. Exclusivity. Smaller but better is driving this market for this consumer. They want smaller and better. They want, as I said, it to be authentic. This could be a great old, hut that was converted into a hotel. I mean, I don't know what it is, but they're looking for smaller and better. And better could be higher priced, or better could just be, as I said, a cooler experience that feels real. 76% of them, as I said, seek one-of-a-kind luxury experiences when planning a trip. And so one-of-a-kind, again, one-of-a-kind, I think we always interpret that as the most expensive, helicopter ride or something. Yes, that's true, certainly. But it is also about, I was trying to track down your boat that I had the pleasure of going on, the Willie T. Yes. I called and said, is there a way I can go there tonight? And they're like, it's kind of dark, and I think it ended. But it just was so cool. I wanted to go back there again. I just thought that was such a cool experience to be able to enjoy. And so where are the growth opportunities? I'll go quickly. Number one, the sharing economy. What are you guys doing about this, right? Airbnb today is valued at $10 billion, more than Wyndham and Hyatt hotels combined. Right? What are you doing about the sharing economy? Because it's out there, right? Are there offerings in BVI? Are you aggressively promoting that? Because today that affluent consumer is just as comfortable, guys, going on Airbnb or VRBO and week's trip for their family as they are staying in a hotel. And 67%, this, participating in shared economy. In 2020, this was just a great stat. There'll be 7 times more devices than people. So I have a feeling it's not going anywhere. Does anyone think this web stuff's not going anywhere? I think it may be around for a little while. It's changed our business for sure, and I'm sure it's changing yours as you speak. Next. Independent travelers, they want control. They want control. 71% of affluent travelers say they prefer to be self-sufficient when traveling. I want to do it myself. I can book it myself. I want to change it at the last minute if I want to change it. I want to be self-sufficient. And 94% of them, 94%, are using their mobile devices at least of one part of the travel process. Of our 4 million visitors a month at condenasttraveler.com, 56% of them come from mobile devices. 56% of our traffic is from mobile. Whether they're on spot and location or whether they're just planning the vacation, thinking about it, or daydreaming about where they want to go, it's coming from mobile traffic. I don't know what your offering is there. The next, niche travel. This is the road less traveled for them. And these are the affluent consumers that are seeking luxury, personalized, one-of-a-kind experiences, whether that be preservation trips or special access or insider opportunities. And sort of this ultra luxury bespoke trips that could be made for them. And they're always interested, the affluent traveler, in visiting the undiscovered. And so your point about Cuba is well taken. Now, whether that projected 3 to 5 million travelers that would travel to Cuba actually helps the rest of the Caribbean as a spillover is, I think, undetermined yet. But, you got to tell them why there's something undiscovered here. And I think you guys are doing a great job. How do you do that? One of the things Russell said is, well, how do you address off-season, right, for them? And I just wanted to show some great examples of markets that have really brought off-season travelers to their markets, whether it be the Toronto Film Festival, has 400,000 attendees, or Aspen. How do we sell Aspen in the summer, right? There's a ski resort with no snow. Well, how about we start doing festivals? And now we attract over 3,000 attendees to go to these festivals in off-season. Your friends in St. Lucia do, as you know, a jazz and arts festival that gets over 6,000 attendees. Takes place in May. Aruba does its high winds tournament, kite surfing and surfing. And then I wanted to share one last thing, which I know you guys are going to talk about your campaign, but I think all of us, to this affluent consumer, there's so much noise coming at him or her all the time. And the language that you choose to promote yourself and to promote your product or your hotel or your resort or your destination is so important. I took 3 websites that I would consider competitors of British BVI, and we went through the websites, and the language that's used over and over. Raise your hand if it's beautiful sandy beaches. Got it. Warm, friendly people. But our people are more friendly. Well, how? Prove it. No, they're really friendly. I get it. For sure, the people are friendly, and they are. But you got to show me something else besides that, because I've heard that before. And whether you think it or not, the consumer is hearing it every day. And so we've got to find a way to differentiate and stand out of the crowd. With that, thank you so much for having us.